What if I told you there was a time when Earth was practically a lost paradise, a place where people lived for nearly 1,000 years? The climate was perfect, and the world seemed designed to last forever. But then something changed and changed forever. A flood of catastrophic proportions erased everything that existed, transforming the planet irreversibly. What went so wrong to warrant such a drastic turn of events? And what can we learn from a story that blends longevity, rebellion, and redemption? Stay tuned, because what you're about to discover might change the way you see the world, and even yourself. Before the flood, Earth was a remarkably welcoming place. Imagine a consistently pleasant climate, without extreme heat or cold. The vapor canopy that enveloped the planet seemed to act as a kind of blanket, maintaining everything in perfect harmony. No wonder people lived so well and for so long. Dense forest rivers, teeming with life, and soil that provided abundance with minimal effort. Everything seemed to proclaim, "Welcome to paradise." But as we know, not everything beautiful remains untouched forever. When the flood came, it was as if Earth had been turned upside down. That delicate climatic balance was lost, giving way to freezing winters and scorching summers. Can you imagine what it must have been like for Noah and his family to adjust to a completely new world as they stepped off the ark? The vapor canopy that had once shielded Earth disappeared, exposing everything to much stronger solar radiation. Vegetation no longer grew as easily, and animals had to adapt to far more challenging conditions. It might seem like a distant story, but just look at today's deserts and glaciers to see traces of that transformative event. And yet there's something fascinating about this chaos. It's as if the flood redefined humanity's relationship with Earth, forcing us to learn to fight for survival and to see the world with new eyes. The Earth, which had once seemed to offer everything on a silver platter, now demanded effort. But isn't it precisely the struggle that makes survival so meaningful? And of course, the story only gets more interesting as we explore the other effects of this great upheaval. Before the flood, living for hundreds of years was the norm. Think of Methuselah, who reached an incredible 969 years, or Noah, who lived 950. It was as if time moved more slowly for those people, allowing them to accumulate knowledge and experience at levels we can hardly imagine today. The vapor canopy, in addition to stabilizing the climate, seems to have acted as a natural shield against solar radiation, preserving human vitality. Have you ever stopped to think about what someone could accomplish with nearly a millennium of life? Probably a lot more than just binge-watching TV shows. With the end of the vapor canopy, history changed drastically. Life expectancy plummeted to the levels we know today. Scientists and scholars still debate the genetic impacts of this transition. Direct exposure to radiation increased the incidence of genetic mutations, and human aging accelerated. Noah and his descendants must have witnessed this decline firsthand, seeing subsequent generations live shorter lives and face new vulnerabilities. Isn't it fascinating how the environment can shape even who we are on the inside? And what about the lessons this change brings us? If longevity decreased, the intensity of life had to increase. Each generation had less time to leave its mark, to build, learn, and teach. Perhaps that's the point. A shorter life reminds us there's no time to waste. But what if we return to the days when interactions between humans and celestial beings transformed the destiny of humanity? Well, that takes us to an even more intriguing part. Imagine a time when the extraordinary was part of everyday life. The Benephilim, these hybrid beings of immense strength and unpredictable nature, emerged as the result of a forbidden union between the sons of God and the daughters of men. These giants, according to accounts, were not only distinguished by their height and strength, but also spread fear and chaos. It's as if the world, already teetering on the edge of moral collapse, had been given a final push. Can you picture it? Ordinary humans trying to coexist with beings as powerful as they were. Challenging. But then a film were not just a physical anomaly. They represented rebellion on a cosmic scale. Their presence not only corrupted human relationships, but also distorted the divine purpose for creation. Imagine a society where brute strength outweighs justice, and wickedness is almost celebrated. What was once an abundant and harmonious world now became a stage of violence and decadence. Earth was literally groaning under the weight of this rebellion, a condition so unsustainable that it demanded a divine response. And it was in this context that Noah's story took center stage. While many succumbed to corruption, he remained upright, a beacon of hope in a world overtaken by chaos. But to understand how he prepared to face the flood and preserve life, we need to delve into his divine mission, the building of the ark, and what a mission that was. When Noah received instructions from God, it seemed like a monumental project. And it was building an ark with such specific dimensions and such a grand purpose was not just a physical task, but a test of faith. Imagine taking 120 years to complete a project, facing ridicule and disbelief from everyone around you. Yet Noah persisted, hammering wood and securing planks, while the world around him ignored the warnings. He knew the flood was coming, and the ark would be the only chance to save life on earth. The ark's capacity was impressive. Around 40,000 animals of all kinds and sizes found refuge there for the skeptics of the time. The sight of lions and sheep living peacefully together must have been as astonishing as the flood itself. Each compartment was designed to provide the necessary space for every creature, proving that the divine plan was detailed and thoughtful. And Noah, he not only built the ark, he carried out an act of obedience that still echoes today as an example of trust in the unseen. But the ark wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of judgment and mercy. The same flood that brought destruction to the rebellious offered salvation to those who believed. And as it navigated the turbulent waters, the ark represented a second chance, a new beginning. But what happens when the waters recede? That's when an unforgettable covenant emerges, along with a symbol that still inspires hope today. When the waters finally receded, Earth's landscape was unrecognizable. It was then that God, in his infinite goodness, made a covenant with Noah and all creation. He promised never again to destroy the earth with a flood, a promise sealed with a rainbow in the sky. Imagine Noah and his family's emotion upon seeing that first colorful ark appear among the clouds. It was more than a natural beauty. It was a visual reminder that despite everything, God's mercy prevails. The rainbow, beyond its spiritual symbolism, became a constant sign of hope. Even today, when we see it after storm, it's impossible not to feel a sense of calm. It's as if the earth is saying, everything passes, even the worst floods. And while Noah received this promise directly at the time, the rainbow continues to remind us all, generation after generation, that judgment never comes without redemption. Perhaps that's why it's so universally beloved. And so Noah's journey comes to an end. But the covenant invites us to look ahead. After all, humanity's story continued to unfold, with new challenges and fresh beginnings. What can we learn then about the connection between heaven and earth, the divine and human, when reflecting on the flood and all that followed? Perhaps that's where the true lessons lie hidden. What would you do if you could glimpse the wealth of lessons? The flood leaves us the story of Noah, and Earth's transformation is a powerful reminder that drastic changes can bring both destruction and rebirth. Are we caring for our world in a way that avoids a modern flood? Perhaps not of water, but of irreversible consequences. The pre-flood Earth teaches us about balance, purpose, and resilience. And you, how are you applying these teachings in your own life? Don't let these reflections stop here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep exploring topics that will make you think, grow, and see the world differently. After all, knowledge transforms, and the next step is in your hands.